Ballet developed through many influential eras to get to the level and vocabulary we practice today. However, the Romantic era significantly shaped ballet and made revolutionary contributions. Romanticism in ballet was the birth of famous dancers such as Marie Taglioni, such as Jules Perrault, and ballets such as Giselle. This period in ballet's history shifted ballet to performance in theaters with more narrative aspects, supernatural characters, the rise of the ballerina, but arguably the most important of these developments is the introduction of pointe work. Pointe work was initially introduced to make dancers look as if they were floating on stage. This Romantic era idea reveals the fascination to explore supernatural elements in ballet. Pointe work became a way to characterize different roles and define mortals versus the supernatural. For example, longer sustained balances helped characterize Aurora in the ballet Sleeping Beauty as graceful and loyal. This allowed ballet to become more narrative and fantasy. But how exactly did we get to the point we are at today? Let's dive in. Starting in the 1730s with Marie Camargo, who developed the ballet slipper. During this time period, dancers wore heeled shoes for ballet. However, Marie took off this heel and created the ballet slipper. This expanded ballet vocabulary, introducing faster allegro, leaps, and higher jumps that were not possible with heels. Then in the 1790s, Charles Didlot summoned his inner Benjamin Franklin and invented a wire stage prop that allowed dancers to essentially fly on stage. The dancers were lifted onto their toes and glided around. He introduced the concept of dancing on your toes to look as if you were flying or as a supernatural creature. The Paris Opera dancer and choreographer introduced the idea of floating, notably in his ballet, Fleurette Zephyr. Next up in the 1820s to 1830s is the one and only Marie Taglioni. Before we get to the start, let's understand her career on pointe. In 1823, Marie Bognoli rose to the tip of her toes in satin slippers that were stitched to have a square-like box. In the ballet, Armand Vestris, La Fille et la Chalvie. However, it was visible that she used a lot of effort to get on top of that toe, to get on top of her box. Marie Taglioni inspired and danced the first full-length ballet in pointe. This ballet was La Sylphide, choreographed by her father, Filippo Taglioni. She wore tight-fitted, darned shoes with leather soles and satin ribbons. Even Fanny Elsler, another famous dancer of this time and Taglioni's rival, now let's not get into that now, who's known for faster footwork, practiced and pointe. Now, we have to take a moment and thank Italian shoemakers. In the 1870s to the 1890s, Italian shoemakers created a stiffer box on the ballet slipper with flour, paste, and cardboard, reinforced by leather soles. This allowed Italian dancers to balance longer and do more pirouettes. It made their ballet vocabulary more advanced than other places around the globe. They traveled to Russia and influenced Maurice Petipa to include pointe work in his ballets such as Sleeping Beauty. Did you know, in the 1910s to the 1930s, one of the most well-renowned dancewear companies came to light? We can thank Anna Pavola and her high unstable arches for Capezio. She needed a stiffer box and extra leather in her soles. Salvatore Capezio was able to come to her rescue and make a more rounded toe, a narrow vamp, and debuted his pointe shoe brand, Capezio. She made her first trip to the US in 1910 and had her shoes and costumes made by Salvatore Capezio, who worked to create different variations of pointe shoes for different feet to spread pointe work across the globe. In the 1920s to the 1980s, pointe shoes became a narrative tool in ballets to portray supernatural characters and enhance the story. But as time went on and new choreographers and dancers emerged, the pointe shoe did not only become more popular, but it needed to become more sturdy. George Balanchine started to advance and develop more technique and vocabulary, which led to much more strong and demanding shoe designs. these became more like the platform box that we have. The development of pointe shoes didn't stop there. From the 1990s to present day, new scientific approaches to pointe shoe construction aim to meet the choreographic demands that ballet has today, but also to prevent injuries on dancers. For instance, to prevent injury on dancers, in 1993, Gaynor Minden constructed a shock-bound pointe shoe to replicate an athletic sneaker. Pointe shoe variations resulted from various experiments in dance medicine, a new and upcoming career that addresses muscular and skeletal studies to analyze dance and the way the dancer moves. And it didn't stop there. Improvements in costuming and dancewear also continued to bloom. In the 1970s, Dance Theater of Harlem began to create tights and pointe shoes that were in a brown shade for other skin tones, resulting in several brands we know today, such as Capezio, Nicolay, Russian Pointe, and Block, to develop different shades for multiple skin tones, welcoming all to the world of ballet and breaking prejudice barriers to provide opportunity for all. Clearly, the development of the pointe shoe greatly evolved from a shoe with a heel to the ballet slipper with immense darning around the toe, to the pointe shoe with the box we know and practice with today. Developments showcase the growth of ballet, vocabulary, and codification as it becomes more advanced, more demanding, and historical. All in all these theories, played with and explored through the era of Romanticism, left a profound legacy and influence on practices in ballet today. I would like to thank GaynorMindenNewYork.com, DanceHistory.com, PointeMagazine.com, and the Royal Opera and Ballet for all of their resources about romantic ballet, the evolution of the pointe shoe, and their videos and pictures of the ballet Giselle. Thanks so much for watching.